Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me here in my shop on July 28th. And what am I going to do in here? It's a beautiful sunny day outside. I'm asking myself, what am I doing in here? I'm going to be lubricating this record player, which I'm sure has never seen any service since it was manufactured. Just looking it over right now. So a lot of dust here collecting on oil and grease. Look at that. Some over here too. Kind of odd why it's collecting on the sides of things like this. Must just be the place where there was some grease, maybe some grease wiped along here or along here, and it's just grabbed the dust. Okay, that's not really a big deal. So one of the problems with this record player is it's not picking up at the end of the record. And usually this is because of some very free moving parts are not moving freely anymore. One of them is right here. So in the actual, I'm not 100% familiar with this record player. They're all a little bit different, but this particular style and exactly where the trigger is, I'm not sure. Here somewhere. So the main brain power in the record player, if I can call it that, brain power, is this wheel here with tracks in it, and then there are runners in the tracks. And as this thing rotates, they run in the track and it causes them to move around. And that movement is then levered into what the record player really wants. It looks like this part. Nope. I'm looking for the part that goes down inside here. It's over here. Right over in here. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm just getting familiar. I'm looking at things. I'm just looking for parts that move. That's actually pretty good. Often this is damped, so when it lets the tone arm down, it puts it down very slowly. But a lot of the times this is shot. You do not lubricate this. Do not lubricate this. One more time. Do not lubricate this. Parts in here. You can see the old lubrication. Nothing much remaining of it. There's quite a bit right on the edge of this. Well, this must be pushing on these guys somehow. Okay, and then get it out. The spindle here is operated by pushing up on this. You have to push up pretty hard on it. That pushing up is coming from here. So that part of the mechanism has to work pretty hard to do its job. Well, it feels pretty loose actually, even though I can see the lubrication is dried up here. Pretty good. Okay, so a couple kinds of lubrication. WD-40 for cleaning off old stuff or getting the oil down into something you can't normally get it into. But that's not really the greatest stuff for one of these. Better stuff is, let me get it here. If I can find it. Hey, where is it? My grease has wandered off at the moment, but I have some oil here. So at a glance, you know, they're both 3-in-1 oil. No. This one just says multi-purpose oil. This one says motor oil. Not engine oil, motor oil. This is what you want. Synthetic. Now what am I going to do with it? I'm not going to do anything with it. I got to find my my grease. And maybe a little bit of WD-40 on a cloth. Okay, yeah. What did I do with my grease? I think I got it. I think I used it on something somewhere in the house. Normally I go through a bit of a process to clean up the old grease, but there's really just none in here to worry about. If there is a little bit of old grease that's sticky, the new stuff will kind of loosen it up a little bit anyway. So I don't see that there's a big deal. The grease I use is a silicone, synthetic silicone grease. Synthetic. 100% synthetic. Well, it's not telling us much, is it? Contains petroleum oils. Call a poison control center if you eat it. Somebody serves it to you for dinner. Okay. So we're just gonna start right in with the this. Definitely awkward to get this done. I'm gonna have to like play the record player a few times for it to kind of spread this stuff out in there. You know, there's a often a roller on the end of this part, which is sticking down in the track, and it rolls in the track to make it. That's got to be enough grease in there to make it move even smoother. Can I even see if there's one there? I don't know. Doesn't feel like a roller. Ooh, don't spill the oil. Okay, so I didn't quite finish with this loose part here. It's supposed to be loose. So if you come across a piece like this, don't think, oh my God, the screws come out. I gotta go find that screw. No. It's loose, so it's very easy to move, because this lever is going to be moved literally by the needle in the groove of the record. That's where the power is coming from. Not a lot of power in the tone arm. But they use the tone arm as it swings to rotate this piece and move this arm inwards as part of the triggering mechanism for the end. Okay, let's keep going with grease here. Just putting grease on where grease was. Yeah, you can see the old stuff just comes right up. Okay. I think this bar is liable to swing here a fair bit. You can also think about leverage when you're doing this. Some parts are under powerful leverage and other parts are not. Powerful leverage, lubrication is not so important because it can power through. And in other areas, a loss of lubrication, a little bit of stickiness is a big deal. But you can think about this while you're doing what you're doing what I'm doing. And what about this guy here? So I see a little bit of lubricant here. Why would they put lubricant here? Probably just got it there by accident, literally. Now, the thing about grease is it doesn't really go anywhere, and that's why you like it. So I think a little bit of oil up in there would be good. Now what else could be greased? So down in this area is actually literally the tone arm is hanging down here, you know, the counterbalance weight and all that. So this is a complicated area in here you want to be a little careful of. See, there's a very light spring right here. I don't know if you can see that. Not really. Maybe this one might be a little better. So there's a spring right here. It's very light, very weak spring. Probably this spring is the tracking force. Not tracking force, skating force. Anti-skate force spring. Has an adjustment screw here. It's all painted in place, so we're not going to fiddle with that. If you want to know what skating is, go record player skating or something like that, and you can read up on it. What the effect is. It's a very subtle effect, only countered in the better record players. And the cheaper record players don't even bother with it. Look at this little guy. I don't know what it does. Yeah, I think, you know, I've been doing this for years, and I look at these mechanisms, and I certainly don't gather what all these little parts are doing. I have a kind of a notion, generally speaking, or a high-level idea, but, you know, absolutely specifically for any particular record player, no, not really. You need some grease right along the top of this. There's a contact point here. So if all these parts are sticky and having a hard time doing their thing, the effect is when the automatic operation's occurring, either when the tone arm's coming over to start the record or when it's finishing, especially when it's finishing. You'll see in either operation it seems to work fine, and then it just slows right down, maybe even stall completely. The platter may actually stall completely, just come to a stop. That's because the mechanism cannot push through all the stuff down in here. The drive cannot push through all the sticky things. So when a record player is well lubricated, you cannot see any change in speed in the platter when the mechanism starts up. You cannot detect that the mechanism is slowing or stalling. It all seems to go just, you know, tickety-boo would be the word for it. If you see any slowing, struggling, if it struggles to return back and set, you know it's lubrication problems, almost certainly right in this kind of device, this kind of thing here. Okay, I was going to shoot a little bit of... Let's not use that. Let's use this. After talking about it, I should use it. Okay. Anything else really need to be oiled? Well, motor bearings, but I said earlier I wasn't sure about this motor and whether taking this top off is going to be a bad thing to do. So no indication it needs to be done. I haven't played the record player actually enough to know. And so I have the record player powered this time by the proper power cord coming into the receiver. Did we get everything? Well, we may not have gotten everything. No, we didn't get everything. We missed a way over here. We missed a way over there. That's dust and dirt. Did a record player a while ago. It was full of long blonde hair. It happened to be a girl's record player. It was full. There's a lot of gunk in here. So now this part, this is the part that adjusts the speed. And I haven't even taken the platter off up top yet. so we haven't even seen how it's done. Different record players do it in different ways. Let's see, we're going to change the speed here. Oh, that's right, the speed thing was frozen. There it goes. This piece is going up and down. See it? Up and down. And that's raising and lowering something. Probably, almost certainly, the what some people call the idler wheel. It's really the intermediate wheel. It's intermediate between the platter and the motor shaft. So that's probably raising it up and down. So it was frozen up. I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of WD-40 right here, just because I'm too lazy to grab the oil. WD-40 is a combination of solvents and oils. Okay, we're going to stick some grease in here. Oh, that's a lot. Very generous with the grease there. Use it somewhere else. Now, what else is going up and down? So it's going up and down on the shaft. Right here. Definitely grease down in here. Feels pretty good. There's a spring here. I think it's supposed to ride up and down on this shaft. Well, it's supposed to ride up and down, or what's it supposed to do? It's gotta be holding this shaft back here. This is really gooey feeling. Has a very bad feeling to it. You kind of expect these parts to be kind of snappy in a way, you know, snap back and forth. This one's definitely not snapping. Look, it's moving an awful lot of stuff. There's another one of the brain parts in here. So you can see it's moving the shaft into the switch. It's doing some funny thing over here. Didn't this thing fail to turn off? Isn't that one of the problems? You can see a shaft running along the outside edge of this wheel, which is all dried up. Yeah, I almost missed a whole bunch of stuff here. Not the least of which, see the gears on the outside of the plastic wheel? They're gearing with something right in the center here, actually on the platter. Motor drives the intermediate wheel that drives the platter. The platter then, through a gear, drives this. So the motor ultimately drives everything, obviously. What was I going to do with this? I was going to stick it down in here. And run a bunch around. It's the same surface those muting switch is on. It's the same surface. Okay, get some in the teeth here too. Okay, now in this area. Now a big long bar like this is sliding on this often, and you need to put lubrication right between the deck and the piece. Over here it's sliding. Maybe you can see skid marks or previous greasings. It's pivoting. It's pivoting up in here, and it's a shaft sleeve arrangement. So shafts with sleeves around them tend to be real problematic in the end. This one's not. I'm going to get some oil in there. That's the best way. See what I'm doing. Oh, there's a lot of oil in there. Okay, that's good. Certainly got that oiled. Okay, now what? I usually like these pieces to snap into place like that. Checking to see where the metal's in contact. It's not in contact anywhere there. To open up the switch box and look inside. I've got the sleeve thing happening over here. I haven't lubricated it. Okay. I think I threw some grease on it, but not any oil. Go in there. I'm trying to feel where the restriction is in the motion of this bar. So there's a spring over here it's pulling against. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. And it's going in and out of the on-off switch, but I'm just going to leave that. Well, we'll give it a try like that. Now, there's a shaft type, shaft sleeve bearing this whole plastic piece is on. What I want to look at is exactly where the so this is really lacking in lubrication. Got a roller piece here. Can't see it, but there's a roller right back here. I'm going to roll on this surface and run up a ramp. And I'll bet you that roller... Here, hang on. I know I got grease all over my fingers here. I'll bet that roller doesn't roll. Let's see. So the roller is right there. Yeah, oh, it's rolling. But you can hear it. It's dry as can be. Let's give them some lubrication here. Oh. Gotta get a better delivery system than that. I do have a little bottle with a little excess lubrication is probably not going to cause any problems. That's turning nicely. Now get our grease out here. Can you see the ramp? There's a ramp right here. It's just that shiny piece you're seeing. That shiny is a ramp upwards or downwards, I guess, once you turn this. And the roller rolls up that ramp. If it rolls, so we're going to grease that up. And I'm going to drop some oil in there too, right in here. If you read the instructions, the service manual that comes with the better turntables, and this might be one of them, the service manual will specify about 6 different kinds of oil. And these things, use this grease here and use that grease there, and well, yeah. I think that's it. I think it's all lubed up. So time to flip it over. flip it over, make it work, and we have the cartridge we still haven't really tested. I got grease on my fingers I have to get rid of. Oh yikes, that's ugly, ugly, ugly. This fell off. But it's pretty heavy, pretty stiff. Well, we should probably take this off and have a look inside. It seems to be turning very freely, which is a good thing. So I put it on manual here. That's caused the intermediate wheel to contact the rim. And now I can check traction. So I'm trying to pull it backwards. It can't go anywhere. Traction's really, really good. Is it even worth taking the platter off? The only reason to take the platter off, the main reason to take the platter off, is to re-lubricate right in here. We can do it from up here. And also to examine the intermediate wheel and check lubrication of that stuff, and maybe get at the top bearing on the motor. I'm not doing anything about the bearings on the motor. Intermediate wheel checks out good. Platter spins fine. And lubrication can be achieved from up here. Pretty simple. All seems great. You know, the one thing I didn't spot underneath was how this speed adjustment works. How is that actually, what's it actually doing? Okay. Yeah, we're going to leave this on at least for now. Hey, that stuff's still a little sticky. And we'll just stick this back on nicely. Make sure it's in the center. It actually drops right in below a metal ridge here. The platter's a container. Okay, stick this guy in. I wouldn't recommend normally lubricating this. I don't know if it should be lubricated. That's the actual truth. Woodstock. I'm going to try to play that Canned Heat song. That's the second one though. Okay, we're set to 33. The size adjustment is on the 12-inch record. Take that off. The audio is still connected through my system here. The electricity to drive this is going to be coming right from this guy. So I gotta make sure this guy's plugged in now, which he is. Hey, what's that other thing? Whoa. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Almost made a big mistake there. Almost made a big mistake. Almost made a small mistake. Mistake was I still have this other cord in here, power cord. I gotta get rid of it. Best way is just to cut it free. Good show. Should have made sure that was unplugged before I did that. Okay, backup wheel. Tools out of the way here. clean up the bench a little bit now and then, or run the risk of accidental confusion. What was that clip on there for? It's just caught over here. Okay. Where'd this come from? Just a coincidental piece of stuff on my bench here. That's why I like to clean up a little bit, especially before I power something up. That's a moment where I say, oh, now's a good time to take a moment to straighten things up. Okay. Rotate. Oh! That's not so good. This is not so good. I don't want to see that. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of stuff to put away. Now we're ready. Now again, we're not listening with this guy. We're going to listen straight into the audio system that I use here to make videos. So I'll get my own headphones ready. Record, where'd the record go? Okay. Well, here, I'll try to play a little bit of Canned Heat, but it's the second song in, so it's not going to play at the start. So, yeah. Pull this out of there. That's another mistake I almost made. Okay, I don't need this. And we can go into here now. No power yet. Now, what about the power switch on here? This. You don't really need to turn this on. Turning this on should turn this on, but it will also turn that on then. And this will be going on and off. What does it matter? Does it matter? Checking that, make sure speakers are secure. Oh my gosh, the other two speakers are connected with clip leads down under here. I better take I had best to take a look. And they look fine. And this is the cover from the record player. Two covers not on. Okay, I think I got through everything here. So we'll power this guy up, and then we will power this guy up. This thing may come right to life. As soon as I hit the power, it may start doing stuff. Lock is off. Record's in the air. Power's going on. Yeehaw! Nothing happening here. And this is probably not turned on. So now I got to figure out how to turn it on. So it's got 6 switches there. Top one towards me is the power switch. You better make sure the volume is turned down. Okay, power switch coming on. Here we go. Heard a little pop in the speaker. But we're not listening to that speaker. We're going to listen to it directly. Okay. I have donned the headphones here. We will turn the level up on the cartridge here. A bit of a hum or something. No? Well, maybe the tiniest amount. I think it's less hum. Maybe using this correct chord has solved the hum. Okay, here we go. It's dragging on this. I'm on stereo. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to play and interrupt the music every 5 seconds just to listen to it here. Otherwise I'll be copyrighted. Someone will steal my $3 from this video.
I dreamed we all were all happy when I was. Why?
So that's me fooling around with the volume controls over here, by the way. And some of that sound, it was just me doing stuff.
All
Let's turn it down on this one. Turn it
under the sea,
on. 2 channels.
feeling me.
Okay, you know what? That's good. Let's try a little canned heat. This feels pretty stiff. This feels kind of stiff. Maybe, you know, it's lifted up, so it's running on. It's got some mechanics in there that. Okay, let's see if we got it here.
Tired of the way I've been dogged around. Well, I've got. I'm going up the country.
Yeah, that's canned heat, all right. Well, not too impressed with the sound quality, but the way we're doing this is questionable. You know, running it through my audio system. Going up the country. It's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, hopefully I didn't get a hit from doing that. Now here's where we find out what happens. Move it very slowly to the end here. Avoid a premature triggering. Okay, what are you going to do? Get my volume down, yeah. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Look at it's skipping. That's a little disappointing. So it's really having trouble. It really is. Maybe this feeling I'm getting that it is something restricting it is real. I thought I triggered it there. So what kind of weight we got on this? Feels appropriate. It's not crazy heavy, crazy light. Why didn't it continue on? Now why am I going to make it continue on? Still not picking up. Son of a gun. There's no off. It doesn't turn off either. Is it supposed to? I don't know. Some do. Some they click and they go off. Click and they come on. This guy does not want to stop. Let's try the stop mechanism. Have a little music here. Stop mechanism's not picking up. Stop mechanism not picking up. End of the record not being detected. This switch thing not happening if it is there. Well, I'd say there's something wrong with it. Wouldn't that be a pretty good guess? Still something wrong with it. What else? What might help with that? Change speeds? How can that help it? What's rubbing here? Couldn't hear that at the slower speeds. Sounds a little like a train going down the tracks. The slower speed, you just don't notice it. It's still there though. So it's something in the platter because it's every time you go around once, it makes that sound. Well, what do we do now? We go outside, drink coffee, ponder life. That's the thing I'm going to do.